Hey, everybody, welcome to Yahoo Sports. I am Kevin Ioli, and my next guest is one of the good guys in MMA, does a lot of great work for charity, also one of the best fighters the UFC has ever had. On January 23rd in Abu Dhabi, he is going to be fighting the notorious Conor McGregor in the main event of UFC 257. My guest, Dustin Poirier. Dustin, how are you, my friend?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I am doing awesome. Rematch of a fascinating fight from 2014. You were the highest ranked fighter at that point. You were ranked number 5. Conor, I believe, was ranked number 9. Conor won that fight by knockout. A lot has changed, both up a weight class now. What do you think the biggest difference in you is compared to the younger Dustin of 6 years ago?
I think I'm more mature, more skilled, more battle tested, more patient. There's a lot that's changed.
You know, did that fight prompt any changes? Like, did that fight make you better when you went back and looked at it? Were there anything that you added, you said, okay, maybe I didn't handle this well, or I didn't do that well, that you changed and subsequently became better as a result of that specific fight?
I think every fight, win or loss, you have an opportunity to get better and to reassess what's going on. And yeah, definitely in that fight, I felt like I needed to make an adjustment with my emotions and the way I lead into these fights.
Yeah, that was something. I guess there was a lot of trash talking going on in the thing. When you're a young guy, do you let that get to you? Was that something that, that you start thinking about the finish as opposed to the process of the fight?
Yeah, I just got too emotional, and I'm an emotional guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and it showed in that fight. I listened to everything that Conor said and thought about it too much. I listened to the critics, and I just, over the course of my career, realized that what really matters is my preparation and my readiness and mindset to go in there.
Right. I mean, it's really interesting. As many great fighters as you beat, and you're in, one of the top divisions. I mean, let's just talk about that first of all. How difficult it is to get to the top of the lightweight division. I mean, you look at the killers in that division, and so many. And now Charles Oliveira's popped up there. I mean, in your opinion, do you think 155 is the best division in the sport?
Oh, right now in the current landscape of mixed martial arts, the UFC 155-pound division is hands down the toughest and most talent stacked division.
Yeah, I mean, it's, when you look at it, you probably go 10 deep with guys that legitimately could win the championship. Would you agree with that? At least 8 or 10 deep?
You can look at the whole top 10, and there's guys outside of the top 10 who are killers as well.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess the thing that from you having been around and made a number of runs at the top, that's something that you learn, right? That, hey, there's a lot of guys out there that are good, and it's the mental difference that maybe makes a difference in a lot of these fights, isn't it?
It's a huge part of it. I mean, and it's a part that I, neglected for years. But fighting is as much mental as it is physical. You have to be prepared for the naysayers along the way. You have to be prepared for the things that creep into your mind during training camp, that creep into your mind during fight week. This is a tough task. Fighting is hard, very stressful.
Dustin, I would imagine it's hard against anybody, but against somebody who's like McGregor, who not only talks, but he has such a megaphone, right? He has that bully pulpit. Everybody wants to talk to him, and his words get magnified. Does that make it even worse against somebody like him? Because it's like everywhere you go. If you're fighting somebody else in the division, maybe it's not as much. But you fight Conor McGregor, and the whole the whole world's watching, and every little thing he does is getting attention. Does that make it a little tougher? And do you have to be that much stronger to fight him?
You probably do, but I feel like I've made those adjustments. At this point in my career, it's not phasing me, but you're correct about, like, whatever he says, there's going to be a headline about it. You're going to know, even though you're not following everything, or you're trying not to follow everything the guy's talking about, you're going to see it somewhere on media on an MMA media headline, or you're going to see someone talking about it or hear someone talking about it, just because, like you said, the megaphone that he has and the star power that he has. But that comes along with more so Conor McGregor, just because of the guy and the athlete and star that he's become. But any huge fight, any main event, pay-per-view or title fight, those are the things that come along with it. A lot of media, a lot of interviews, a lot of opinions. And like I said, I just know what matters.
You know, there's a thought of, Connor's, hey, a striker, he's got great stand up and everything, but he's not great on the ground. But yet, you don't see a ton of guys just taking him to the ground. How do you assess Conor McGregor at this stage of his career? Is he a different fighter, stylistically at all from when you fought him back in 2014?
He's got to be better, or he wasted 6 years. I expect him to be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we can't just throw away or disregard his grappling. I'm sure the guy is very skilled in grappling, in wrestling, in jiu-jitsu. I'm expecting the best out of and the toughest out of every scenario, every exchange. I would be doing myself a disservice by looking past those things or thinking that he's not skilled somewhere. I'm expecting to fight a very well-rounded fighter.
One of the things that I always love is, you hear UFC fighters more than boxers say this, I want to get in a brawl and I want to have this. And I saw a comment attributed to you the other day where, it was something to the effect of, I want to be bloody and swollen and sweaty and all this. And I hope he's ready for that aspect too. Can you explain sort of what you mean by that? Because I mean, a lot of people would say, well, the object of fighting is to hit and not get hit. I think I understand what you mean, but can you kind of explain your thought process when you make those kind of comments?
Yeah, I want the fight to be uncomfortable for both of us. I want us both to have to dig down and show grit and determination and will. That's what I want. I want this to be a test of want, because I want this, man. And I'm sure he does as well. But I want to prove I want it more. That's just it.
I asked you this before you fought Dan Hooker, and I think it's interesting now. We talked about the depth in the division. You win this fight, and you're right there, back at the championship level. I know you can't think of that. You can't think of anything else but Conor McGregor, but you do know that's out there. Is that a motivation in training camp as you're getting ready to fight him, knowing that, everything in your life that you have worked for will come true? You win this fight.
Very motivating, very motivating. Not only what comes along with beating a guy like Conor McGregor, but knowing that with a win, my next fight will be a title fight is very motivating.
And then lastly, let's just end at this. You held the championship before. You beat a really good fighter in Max Holloway to win a championship. What they say the toughest fight is to defend the championship, right? What did you learn in your first title reign that you think will help you in a potential subsequent title reign?
That at that level, every mistake is detrimental. You fighting these caliber of guys, you make one mistake, it's over. So I learned that I need to be in the moment every second of those 25 minutes. You lose focus for 1 second, it's a wrap. And there's no room for error in these type of fights.
No doubt. Before we let you get out of here, I know you do a lot of great charitable work. It's been talked about a lot, the Good Fight Foundation. What's going on? Is Conor still planning to contribute to your foundation? Or what is the charity that you're going to benefit off of this fight?
We'll be, I hope he does. He said he would. So we'll see. I think he's a man of his word. But first things first, we got to scrap. But the Good Fight Foundation has teamed up with Boys and Girls Club of Acadiana in Louisiana. We're going to be working with their 6 locations to provide transportation for the rest of this year, 2021, to all 6 locations, to and from, for the children. And also we want to provide all 6 locations with tutors to help bridge the gap with the learning curve that's going on right now, associated with the pandemic and the situation children are in at home learning. You know, it's not an easy thing, especially it's tough on the children and it's tough on the parents, these single parents out there who are at work and the child is home. You know, we're just trying to, like I said, bridge the gap and take a little bit of weight off the parents by giving transportation to these children. You know, because there was a lot of, they were running into a lot of problems where parents would be able to pick the children up at the clubs after or drop them off, but they couldn't do both. And so the kid wouldn't go at all. And, you know, it's very important to be around peers and to be around someone like a tutor who can help you in a time like this where you're at home learning and you have no one to really explain things and answer questions that you have. So I'm proud. The Good Fight Foundation is happy and excited to team up with the Boys and Girls Club.
Well, thanks for everything you do, Dustin. You do great work, and a lot of people have benefited from what you do. Thanks so much. Good luck to you at UFC 257 on January 23rd. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate it.